In this video, we're going to be checking out some amazing and affordable street food right on the shores of this lake. This market really is a street food heaven, sitting in a prime location on one of Thailand's most popular islands. And in this video, I'm going to taste 3 amazing dishes that you can find here, as well as showing you around this very famous area. After 3 weeks in Phuket and Krabi on the west coast, we arrived on Koh Samui, which is an island down in the Gulf of Thailand. And for decades, this has been a thriving tourist destination. I first visited these shores back in 2016 on my first ever trip to Southeast Asia, back when Samui welcomed around 2 million tourists every year. But when we returned in 2022, things had changed a lot. After the pandemic, Thailand's reopening of tourism had only just begun. So this was a really strange time for Samui, after nearly 2 years of essentially no tourism. And this video begins in what has traditionally been the busy tourist centre of the island, which has both a seafront and a beautiful lake. Hello and welcome back to another day in Thailand, where you join me from the shores of Chaweng Lake on the island of Koh Samui. Now, Chaweng is, or was, the biggest and most popular resort town on this island. This is where thousands of tourists would come to enjoy the big resort hotels and the beautiful beach. And this was also the central nightlife hub on the island as well, thanks to all of the entertainment down on the Chaweng Beach road. But now, unfortunately, things here have changed beyond recognition. A couple of weeks ago, me and Emma took a walk down the beach road, and honestly, it's a bit of a ghost town. Thanks to the pandemic, many of the businesses that relied on tourism have been completely abandoned and boarded up. It's really, really sad to see. In fact, certain parts of that road even look like there could have been a natural disaster happening here. It's definitely one of the worst affected areas I've seen since I've been back in Thailand. But luckily, that doesn't reflect the whole of Chaweng town. There are still parts of this area that are well worth coming and taking a look at. So I want to start this video by getting a view over it all at that big pagoda on the top of the hill. Chaweng is not just about the beach and the nightlife. Towering above the north of the lake is the golden Jook Pagoda, which is not only a beautiful temple in its own right, but also the most impressive viewpoint over this part of the island. Now, I love exploring Buddhist temples in Thailand, and the most popular and impressive ones on Koh Samui are to the north of Chaweng over in Bang Rak, where you can find the iconic Big Buddha, as well as the water-bound Wat Plai Lem. But to get up to Chaweng's Golden Pagoda, you need to climb the steep hill just off the Chaweng Lake Road, which doesn't take long by bike. You can actually drive most of the way up, and then there's just a short set of stairs to get up to the temple itself, where you pay a 20 baht entrance fee. This golden gem sits 90 metres above sea level, making it a popular spot for sunset, or to just enjoy some peace and tranquility with panoramic views over the island. Well, as you can see, you get an amazing 360-degree view from up here. On one side, you can look right down onto Chaweng, and you can see just how big the lake is here. And beyond that, you can see the sea. And on the other side, you look right over towards Bang Rak, where you can see the Big Buddha in the distance. And you can also see the Samui Airport runway here as well. So this is a great spot if you want to watch the planes come in. And as you can see, the temple itself is really, really peaceful. There's nobody else here. So we could just enjoy the view on our own. And it's well worth a trip up to see it. But now I want to head back down into town because, to be honest, I'm a little bit hungry and there's a place I want to show you. Let's do it. Now, before we get to that amazing street food market that I teased at the start, I want to show you another way to eat fairly cheaply in a tourist area like Chaweng. And for Thailand newcomers, it might be where you least expect. This is Central Samui, the biggest shopping centre on the whole island. Obviously, you'll find lots of shops here and there's a really nice cinema, but I'm not here to do any shopping. I'm here for the food. Central Samui sits right in the middle of the lake and the beach in Chaweng, connecting them with entrances on both sides. And unlike the beach road alongside it, most things here were still very much open for business. It has all sorts of shops as well as rotating themed markets in the centre. But Central is also home to Beach Eats, the trendy food court area which is a great stop for a quick bite to eat. Right then, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I love food courts here in Thailand, and you can find them in any sort of shopping mall. You can even find them in supermarkets like Big C and Lotus, and they're just really good places to find a great variety of different food for very affordable prices. And Beach Eats here at Central Samui is a pretty good one. There's lots of different options here. You've got Japanese food, you've got Russian food, but today I'm going for some classic Thai. And I've ordered myself a pad Krapow moo. Now, if you've ever been to Thailand, then you know about this dish. This is a real fast food staple here. And basically what it is minced pork fried with Krapow, which is holy basil. And there's some chilies in there, some shallots, some garlic. And of course, you can't have a pad Krapow without that fried egg on top as well. So let's give it a taste. Just gonna mix it up. Get some egg in there, get some rice. Cheers. It's just so good. The way that most food courts work in Thailand is with these. You don't pay cash at any of the stalls. You basically have to go to a cashier beforehand, top up one of these cards, and then you pay at the stalls with one of these. And then, of course, you can go and get your change back before you leave. So if you're new to Thailand or maybe a little scared of street food, food courts can be a great way to ease yourself into a fairly similar experience for a pretty good price. But now it's time to get to what I think is the very best food experience in the whole of Chaweng. And to find it, you just need to wait until the sun starts to go down. From Thursdays to Saturdays between 5 and 9 p.m, Chaweng plays host to a huge walking market right on the edge of the lake. And it's literally right across the road from the Central Samui Mall. From about 4 o'clock, you'll start to see the road get lined with bikes and cars as people head from all over the island to visit these colourful stalls. And it's easy to see why. What I love about this place is that despite being a fairly touristy market, there is an amazing variety of different foods. So you'll see lots of locals come down here as well. You can find everything from Thai to Western, savoury to sweet, full meals to snacks. There's also live music and plenty of places to sit down. Now, as you can imagine, it would be quite hard for me to try everything they have on sale here. So I walked around and chose 2 of my very favourite dishes to show you what you can expect and how much it costs. Okay, we've come back out to the lakeside once again because there's really loud music over in the market and we need a bit of peace and quiet. It's also about to piss it down with rain, so this tree should provide some cover. But the good news is I found some food to try, and this is the first dish, which is something called Nam Khao. Now this is actually a Laotian dish which is very popular up in northern Thailand. And what caught my eye initially was these balls that I saw sitting on the food stall, and it kind of reminded me of a British Scotch egg, but it's actually nothing like that, because what that is a deep fried rice ball. And what the lady did was grab that rice ball and grind it up with a load of other ingredients like shallots, dried onions, we've got some herbs, peanuts, and some fermented pork sausage. So really, it's kind of similar to a Thai lab, which is another type of spicy salad, because there's also some chili in there as well. But enough talking, let's try this thing. Just gonna mix it up a little bit more so I get some of those lovely dried onions in there, some of the nuts. I'm gonna take one big mouthful, here we go. Should definitely put some fish sauce on there, some lime as well. Just really fresh tasting. Lovely bit of spice as well. But this dish is not just about the flavors, it's about those textures as well. Alongside some of the softer ingredients, you get a lovely crunch to it. So yeah, this dish gets a big thumbs up. Now it is time for our second dish, which is actually another one from northern Thailand. This is Khao Soi. Khao Soi is a curried noodle soup from the Chiang Mai area, and you can always spot it thanks to the crispy noodles on top there. That's the real signature of this dish. This one's with chicken, and as you can see, there's all sorts of condiments on top. So I'm just gonna mix it all up with my teeny tiny spoon, because I forgot to get one off the guy, but let's just mix it all up and give this a taste. I've had this before in Chiang Mai, it's amazing. Oh, so good, so good. Obviously the soup is made from coconut milk, so there's a bit of sweetness there, but then also it's a lovely warm spice coming from it as well. Let's try one of these crispy noodles. These will be deep fried. And again, even though this is a noodle soup, it's all about that contrast of textures. I'm going to attempt one big bite just for the camera. Get some noodles and crispy noodles. Here we go. Unreal. Yet another amazing dish. It's something you definitely have to try in Thailand, especially up north, but hey, it's good down here as well. Thank you so much for watching this short tour of Chaweng, which from what I've heard is recovering slowly but surely as tourism returns. In the next video, our Gulf of Thailand adventures continue as we head over to Koh Samui's closest neighbour in search of a very unique temple made entirely out of Chang beer bottles.